Hey, Simone.
Hello. Sorry, I had to
How are
turn my
you?
music off. It's in here jamming.
Happy Thursday.
You too.
So I think you and I are a little bit early. So I think people have about
Yeah, so
5.
last time I couldn't get in the right way, and I figured I was like, nope, let me go in early this time so I can figure it out. It's like, let me get in here, and I know I'm in.
Yep. How was your week going?
It's actually good. I am like super stoked. I have like written out my whole launch thing, and
Awesome. That's great.
like when I say I have literally been like I've been at work, not doing work, but doing my business.
Sometimes that's the way it be.
Like literally be at work and I'm just like, whatever, I'll do this later. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I have my earpiece in. So I'm listening to you, I'm watching your YouTube on my phone while I'm on my business, the group page on the computer, and I'm just like, okay, what she say do? Okay, okay.
Okay, I'm getting her done. That's good.
I was like, whatever, I'm getting it done. So like after I talked to you today, then I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and write this whole thing out and type it up so I'll know exactly what's about. And I did it.
That's good. So you've got have you settled on the 4th?
I am.
Good. Good.
I am. I'm excited. But except that part when you said, and you can go live, I was like, really? Really,
I
Sunday?
would go to next week's content. I'm going to talk about like the content that you should have in your group. And one of those things is your launch event. And I think you should go live.
Well, then that's perfect then because it's not until next weekend anyway.
Yeah. So, I don't think your welcome video doesn't have to be something that's really long, but I certainly think when you launch, doing a welcome video or a welcome event where you're actually going to be live, you're on for 5 to 10 minutes and you talk about your vision and what people can expect inside of the group, I think is a great thing. And then you can also tag people on that as well as they come into the group.
Got it. Yeah, see, that'll be perfect because it's not till next weekend anyway, so I have to listen on Monday.
You don't have to do Zoom. Hey, Alto, nice to have you on.
It was so funny. Actually, when I did
Hey.
the video, me and my daughter, I had my daughter wrote everything out, and my daughter was like sitting right in front of me, like holding the paper. I'm like, hold it.
Do not move. There's
So funny.
an app that you can download. I don't know, are you an Android or an Apple person?
I'm an Android.
So am I. I don't know about those Apple people. I consider them the board, so I'm like, resistance is futile. I mean, but I'm resisting as long as I can. I refuse to go Apple. So the name, I just unloaded it, and it does have a subscription fee. But when I was really nervous about doing my lives and I needed a video prompter, it's a video prompter on your phone. So you can be going live and you can be going live on your phone and you have, so that you're looking up at the camera and you're directly at the camera. So you get to have your phone and it's prompting you what to say. You just type it in. Yeah, it's pretty slick. It's called Big View, VU. Hey, Amanda.
Hello.
How are you? That's a great picture of you.
Oh, thank you.
I thought it was you. I was like, she's awfully
No,
small, but I realized it was
here
a
I am.
So yeah, Big View. It's a teleprompter. And it has a web version of it, so you can like type your script out in web, and then it'll sync to your phone, and then you can do your video on your phone with it prompting you with the words.
Downloading it right now.
So I used it for a while, and then I was like, I'm over it. So but it helped me get through that period of time that I needed to have a prompter.
Well,
Big View.
This is gonna be perfect.
Yeah, so because what I used to do, and I had a friend who's also an online coach, and she said she used to tape her like because she didn't have a full prompt, but she would tape her sticky note right next to her camera, and I'm pointing because my camera's right there, but have it next to her camera so she would be looking up, and because I write my notes and my notes are down, so I'm never looking at the camera like I'm supposed to.
Right.
But she tagged her notes right at the camera, and that helped her as well.
Yeah. Either that or
So
and I did have my daughter sit right behind the camera.
you're great. Having your daughter is good too, but in the event that she's not there or what have you, then
Right.
actually
Yeah.
remember to do that. But I was, when I was looking at my videos, I look and I realize that I'm still, because I just got this new webcam, so I've got to look up a little bit higher, but I got to situate it. I got to figure out how to stick it on the monitor or something, because when I'm looking at people's comments and stuff, and I'm looking down, and I've never got eye contact to the camera, so that's something I've got to work on.
Yeah, well, I will definitely be using that.
All right, so big view. So that little
Camera
tidbit for
girl.
those who just joined, Simone was talking about teleprompting and going live and having something to. She's using her daughter as her teleprompter with her words. So there's an app for, I don't know if it's an Android version, an Apple version, I'm sure, because everything has Apple. But the name of the app is called Big View, and it's Big VU, and it's a teleprompter app. And you can script out what you want to say, and if you video or, excuse me, it doesn't work when you're going live, but it does work if you're recording video. Record your video on your phone and it actually will do the recording for you in this app, and you can have your words scrolling there, and you be directly looking at the camera while you're doing it. Pretty slick app. I used it for a while. I used it, and then, like I was telling Simone, after I got tired of writing out my scripts and doing all that, I just started.
Yeah, that's what I do. I usually have little notes and write scripts and tape stuff up on my.
Yeah. So, hey, Davida.
Hey.
All right, so what time do we have? I am recording, which is good. All right, so welcome you guys to implementation week number 2. And so, I was putting together all the content this weekend, and I was like, crap, this is a lot of content. So that's the reason why I broke it up in 2 days. But ultimately, what you guys should have is I think I wrote out 4 objectives for the week, and that's a group name. You should have your group created with your settings and the setup of your group, and then decided on your launch date at minimum, and then started on your launch content. So I'd like to see you guys launching your groups within the next week to 2 weeks, because next week we're going to be talking about group content and the kind of content that you should be delivering, the kind of pillar content, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. So that's your objectives for the week. So Davida and Simone, I saw that you guys, and even Amanda, I saw slid right in there. I saw that you had a name for your group. So kudos to you guys for that. And I actually have gone into Simone and Davida's group. So I think I made some recommendations for you both in terms of what to do. How are you guys doing in terms of the rest of the setup? I'll just do a round robin for that. So I'll start. Simone, you were the first one on. So how are you doing with your setup? And
pretty good, actually. I'm pretty excited. I'm like, dope.
you decided on a date too, right?
I've gotten everything done, and I'm pretty much, like I told you earlier, I've written my whole pre-launch thing to type out to put on my personal Facebook page, so I'm like ready.
Perfect. All right, that's good. So I think Amanda, you were on next. So got a name? I like the name.
Yeah, I've been trying to pull it all together, working on a timeline for hopefully next week. I don't have an exact date yet for launching, but I'm still working on the description and the questions and all of that. So hopefully in the next, say, 3 or 4 days. I wanted to say Monday, but I think that's pushing it. So
okay. Well, next week, I mean, if you do it sometime next week, that's good. What I want you guys, and I'm gonna push as much as you guys will allow me to do, is because I know fear is gonna be the thing. It's like, nope, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to launch it, but I want you to. So, because, you know, once you have it launched, then you can get the content, start putting the content in. I'm not so worried about you having a bunch of members in there right now. What I'm really wanting you to do is, you know, get off of any fears that you all may have. And I'm not directing that to you, Amanda, I'm directing that to all of you. Get over whatever fears that you have of like just launching, just get her done, because this is just really practice for you to get accustomed to posting content that you're going to be asking people for them to make action, to do things, because those are the things that you're going to be doing inside of your group too. So, you know, if you get 1 or 2 people that join your group, great. If not, great. It doesn't matter, because again, our objective is to drive traffic to your group. I'm more concerned of you guys getting used to the action of posting, doing this sort of this excitement post, the actual announcement post, because those are the things that you also are going to be doing when you get ready to launch your promotions as well. So this is just kind of practice, okay? Most important things for you guys to get through is make sure your questions really allow you to start that conversation. So when we get ready to talk about content next week, you know, and you start tagging people and reaching out to people, those questions really are going to help you be able to isolate or segment people into, so that you can have an accurate conversation. So, all right. Do you have any questions, Amanda, about what you've got left to do?
No, I have it listed out pretty well.
Okay. All right. Alto, how about you?
Take you off mute. Honestly, this has been a rough week for me, so I am an observer on this call because I didn't get a chance to look at any of the content just yet. So I'm devoting tomorrow afternoon to really focus and get everything settled in.
Okay, so you guys really, like I said, next week is going to be a content week. So between this week and next week, you know, you guys will be able to have some time. So I'm not saying next week is a bye, because I'm going to be releasing some content next week, but you know, you can kind of go into next week and then, you know, get an idea of what I'm talking about in terms of the ongoing content that you want to create. But I would really like to see you guys launching end of next week, going into the following week, but really making that commitment to launch. Davida, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I still have some finishing touches to make, but other than that, I'm, you know, like my ideas are getting down there on paper, and your templates have been very helpful, because I'm just like, okay, what did she talk about here? Okay, there we go.
Good,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Good, that's good.
Yeah, and I should be good to launch next week.
You're one of the few that already had an existing group of people. And so, you know, similarly, when I went through this process, it was really just kind of tweaking my existing group. And is that what you're finding that you're having to do?
Right, yeah. So yeah, I saw the comment that you made about, and then I just followed the steps. So I was like, okay, I need to change that. I need to change that. And so, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. All right. The most important thing is for you to make that private, because then that will force people to answer the questions. If you have it public, then they won't click on join, because they'll be able to see everything.
Right.
Okay. All right. So how are you guys feeling overall? Are you feeling good? Overwhelmed? Tired? You just don't care?
It was a little overwhelming at first, but I'm the kind of person that have to write things down and look at it and organize it my way. I don't know, it just works better for me that way. And I feel like my group is going to be an extension of the group I already have, because I did put a question in the group and then I took it out. I was going to ask if I could just use my existing group, but my existing group's got too many different kind of people. So when I launch this group, I want to be able to invite the seniors, those people that would qualify for the group or be part to invite them to the launch.
Well, let's talk about that, because it's a pain in the ass to have to manage 2 groups. Take it from somebody who's managing like 6. So, like, why do you feel like you can't just
I
start
thought about
over
it,
if you
but
can?
I want to keep the group that I have.
Okay.
So I just said, this is very specific. This is very I think I'm pretty sure I can manage it. There's no way I would try to do 6 groups, but I thought about it, and I once I put it all together, I've been pretty good at managing the group that I have. I know how to schedule posts and things like that. I know how to do things in advance so that the group will still function. So
Okay.
I think I'll be okay.
If at any time you decide that you want to combine it, let me just give you guys some tips, and this would be for you, Davida. Like, if you decide you want to split it, whatever. Because I have done this, and I've done it, I feel like, successfully. I've kicked people out, and I've started the group over. I kicked them out, like anyone who wasn't active. And you get to the point where your group is not getting the engagement, and maybe your ads are not getting the right type of people that you want, kick them out. This is your group. You do whatever you want. Kick them out. And I didn't kick everybody out of my group. I was up to 1,000 people in my group, and I kicked 600 people out if they were not active. Because I had the group for 2 years, so I kicked everybody. I looked through it. I mean, it was kind of painful that weekend, but I did it. I went through everybody who had been in the group for 2 years, and if I didn't know their name, I kicked them out, because I was like, you're not active, and if I don't know you, I mean, I'm the one managing the group. If I don't know you, then nobody else knows you, and you're not benefiting. And maybe if you are silent, I don't want silent people in the group. So if any time you feel like you've got people, I don't want you to feel like you owe anybody. This is your group, your asset. You get people in, and I still right now I haven't handed over accepting people in my group, because I'm very particular about my audience, right? So if a man joins the group, I check to see if he's in the travel business, because I get a lot of men who try and join who are really coaches, I guess trying to tell us women what we should be doing right or wrong. So I check people. I do have a set of criteria that I still follow with accepting people in the group. And I want you to take that. Again, this is your asset. You're investing money in growing this asset. So, Amanda, you keep it separate, up to you. But Davida, I do want to mention to you in terms of groups, because I know that you have a class, and I don't know if you're going to think about, because I have groups for, my free group, which is the travel boss group. And then I've got these types of paid groups where I've got people in, and I do some things similar, but I don't do everything similar. So when you get into like your class that you start selling, Davida, you may take some of this stuff and apply it, but not necessarily all of it, because they're already part of your funnel, and they're end of your funnel, right? So you don't necessarily have to do the same setup that you do, or the content that obviously that you're going to do inside of your other groups. So this really is applicable to people that you're trying to bring into your funnel, and you want to nurture a specific way so that you ultimately can increase that know, like, and trust. But I think you guys are doing great. Rocky, you're on. I saw you come in, so tell us how you did. Did you, I think you posted that you're behind, right?
Yes. Bad week. And I definitely don't like to use excuses, because I committed to doing this. And so I'm trying to work through everything that I have going on. I've been thinking of names. I've been looking, just kind of seeing what's out there, because I definitely don't want to duplicate anyone.
But I wouldn't worry about it if you were.
Yeah.
So many people in the world, I wouldn't worry about it.
I know. And and what I'm having a hard time with is because I don't want my group name to just be focused on family with kids, because I still have that other part that I want to deal with, where I have a like my groups that I book now, it's a bunch of moms and wives, and they like to just have their mommy getaways without the kids. So I don't know if that would be like a separate group, because like I do that personally. Every year I have to have 7 days where I'm away from my child or I'm gonna go crazy. And there's a lot of women that fall under that. So I don't know. I don't even know if I don't went
they still have
backwards.
families, right?
Yeah, they do.
So
Okay.
you could do segments or times when, in terms of the content that you create, I mean, the attraction to those people, I think, would still be the same. You have a family, you know, you want to travel, and then, you know, you could do a series of information pieces. And again, when we get into content next week, that's going to be focused on, you know, I know you need to get away. I got a 7-day thing I do every year. Right.
Yeah.
And so mommies, I'm talking to you, right? You're the one that needs to get away from all this craziness, COVID craziness, and you need to let
Right.
dad or whoever deal with them while you get away. Right. I mean, that's a perfect live to talk about needing to recharge to be the best mom and dad that you can be for your family. Right. So
Right.
I would absolutely, because you're still talking to parents.
Right.
And not that I'm saying anything about you single people without children, but I think everybody on this call has children, is you understand how important it is to get away from them.
Yes. My goodness.
Another, right? So I think that's a great, you know, that's going to be a great agitate, and what it's called an agitation post, which is, you know, what is something that they're struggling with? Well, their kids.
Right.
What do they need a solution from their children?
Yeah.
And how do you get you know, what can you do to help them so they can be better parents? I mean, I think you should just have one group, and you should call it something with families and something that has travel in it. And then you can do segments and promotions focused on adult only.
Okay.
Ways from call it a get away from your family.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think, because like I'm in a group called Single Parents That Travel, or Single Parents Who Travel. I'm in a group Black Families Who Travel. It's like I'm in all these different groups as an individual. So now I'm just trying to figure out what I want it to be. So I'm hoping
let's talk about that. Let's talk about competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not very many people are teaching what I'm going to teach you in terms of engagement. Right. So you may see groups that are there, but traditionally groups have very little engagement with not the leader doing most of the work, right? Mm-hmm. So, and what most leaders find, group leaders find, is they're doing all the posting, and the same people are doing the responses, right? 5 or 10 different people are doing responses, and they're not, you know, fully engaged, right? Now, those groups that, you know, have high engagement are few and far between. So what I would say is if you've got if you see a Black Families That Travel group, what's the engagement like?
Yeah, a little bit to none, honestly. It's not that much. I mean, there's more single parents, like in the Single Parents Who Travel one, there's more in that because it's a lot of single moms. Mm-hmm. Some single dads chime in, but it's mostly single moms. And the engagement in that one is high versus the Black families who.
Yes. So, you know, I think it's really important that when you guys are looking at, and first of all, when you are looking to see about names and what's going on in Facebook, you know that there's a way for you to search, you know, people, which are business pages, and then groups, versus just the name in its entirety, right? So I want you guys to search, like Rocky said, in terms of seeing what is already out there. And then I would troll the group. I would join the group, and I would see what's going down in the group and see what's happening. I mean, I've trolled all my competitors. Like, I know what's going down in their groups, and I know what, you know. And when I was first starting, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you, I was not confident. I was like, you know, am I putting the right content out there. But what I'm going to tell you is what I'm going to teach you in terms of the content, nobody's doing this in your space. Nobody is doing this in your space. So the way that I'm going to teach you how to engage and get that type of engagement where you're not going to be spilling out your heart and soul into everything. I mean, next week is really, you're going to be like, no, I'm going to need to do more than this. She's full of shit. I'm going to tell you, because when I was taught it, I was like, no, you're full of shit. I need to do more than that. I need to do all this content. Like, I need to I need to do tips, tricks, and, videotapes and all this sort of stuff, right? So I ignored my coach and I did all this stuff, and I used to be a content machine, and I'm not now. I mean, literally in my group now, I do 1 pillar post a week, and that's Wednesdays, and that thing is crack-a-lackin' now. It's got a lot of engagement. It's one of the biggest, so my excitement post for the live gets a lot of engagement, but there are tricks in that I'm going to teach you guys, and you're going to get that engagement too. I do 1 or 2 posts, maybe in the week, but I'm going to tell you what I came from. I used to have 8 posts a week, right? Tips, quotes, polls, all sorts. I did a blog. I used to be a content machine, and I didn't sell anything. I wasn't really promoting. I was promoting a couple of classes at $25 a pop, and people weren't getting the results that I really want them to do, like in this kind of program. And so I was getting no engagement. And I was posting like they tell you you're supposed to post, right? You're supposed to post 15 times a day, and I've done it all. I'm telling you, ladies, I have posted according to everybody's algorithm that is known to social media marketing. And what I'm about to teach you is the very thing that has worked and has gotten me high engagement, quick know, like, and trust. And I am doing 1 major content pillar a week compared to the 8 I was doing in the past. 8 posts. So, I have 2 admins, right? I have a graphic artist and I got an admin. We had an intern who was helping us too. It was 34 of us, right? Because I'm reviewing everything that they're doing. We're doing 8 things a week, right? So that's 24, times that by 4. That's 32 pieces of content. We're doing graphics for all those content. It was crazy. My life was crazy. And it's not crazy anymore. My life is crazier. It's crazy, but it's crazy for different reasons. So I'm just going to tell you this. So you're going to make a choice as to if you listen to me or not, and if you're stubborn or not, because I'm a stubborn ass. I'm not saying you are, but I'm stubborn. So I had to go through that pain myself to say, no, I just need to be doing more. I need to be delivering more content, right? Because I didn't really have a good strategy on selling. So I'm going to teach you what I learned. I'm going to teach you what's working for me. You'll make the decision as to what you do. But what we want are groups that are popping, right? People are engaged, they're active. And when you say you drop something, they're like, I'm going to get my money together, and they're dropping your deposits like you want, or they're not, and they're pissed off at themselves, right? So that's what we want your people to be like. All right. So that's enough about content, because we're going to get all into it next week. We have a lot to talk about on content next week. Okay, so what I really want to make sure is the material helpful for those who have been able to take a look at it? Does it make sense? Are you missing anything? Simone did bring to my attention that I didn't really explain how to get to the link to your stranger offer, so I will do a supplemental text on that, because everyone has a different mail system. But let me just, for those who may not know what I'm talking about, in your group description, I tell you that you need to give away your gift, right? You need to add a link to your gift. And so the question may be, well, how do I, Simone's question was, where do I get the link from? Like, how do I give them the link to my gift? And so the way to do that, the best way to do that, if you are creating a guide, a tip sheet, or a piece of paper that you need to deliver, is through your email marketing tool. So if you have, Simone has MailChimp. So there is a way in MailChimp to create a landing page. And in that landing page, you can capture the email address. You create the landing page in your email marketing system. Contact has a landing page now. MailChimp, most of the providers have a way to do a landing page, and it's just a simple email capture form that you can add a title and maybe an image, and then you capture the email. It automatically goes and ties to your email list that you can then send out an automatic email with the document, a link to the, the document. If you put it on Google Drive, Google G Drive, or, Dropbox or something like that. Tell me what you guys are using for email marketing systems, and then what I can do is I can put links to, I'll create a training that has links to the different instructions for your landing pages, to how to create your landing pages. I got Simone, she's using MailChimp. You don't have one yet, Amanda?
And I don't neither. I think
you don't
that's
either.
yeah.
So,
I'm going behind here. So
in next week's, because I actually was putting together a link page, I'm putting together in next week's class an engagements tools list, and email marketing is on there. So I'm recommending 2 email tools. So what I will do is I'll make reference to landing pages for those 2 tools that I'm recommending. Davida, who's your email marketing?
I haven't really had one, but what do you know about yet another mail merge? Is that something?
I've never heard of them, but that doesn't mean anything because there's new email marketing tools coming out every day. Ping me or tell me the name of that, and I'll look to see if they have a landing page or not. Because literally, no one had landing pages about 5 years ago. Email marketing tools, they didn't have. You had to build a landing page, a website landing page, but they seem to all have them now. So what I would do, Davida, is in your tool. Do you have it already, that tool? Are you using it, or are you thinking about using it?
I was thinking about using it because I was trying to do a Google form earlier, and my computer, I had to restart it. And so I couldn't find Google Forms, but then yet another mail merge came up in the search when I was looking up forms.
Oh, so Google Forms is another good idea. Yeah, you could do a Google form to do that.
Oh yeah, that's probably easier anyway.
Yeah, I would do a Google form. So I would just, but here's the deal. You need an email marketing system. You're going to ultimately need an email marketing system. So Google Form is a temporary solution for you to be able to, because ultimately what we want is, the reason we have that description in the, we have that link in the description is because I'm pretty much, if you see, I'm round robining, I don't know if that's a word, but what I'm trying to do is, I'm in the description, we want them to follow these instructions. In the welcome post, we want them to follow these instructions, right? When I tag them, I want them to look at the welcome post so they can follow these instructions. In the group rules, I want them to follow the instructions, right? Because people need to hear it and see it multiple times for them to actually do what you want them to do. The purpose of the gift is because even if they don't follow it in the group description, you're going to send them the gift in your questions, right? Because you're going to get their email address, and then you're going to send them the gift via the email. So either way, you're going to get them on your list if you do any one of the multiple ways I'd say for you to get them on the list. So if you do a Google form, what you're doing is you're just manually getting an email address, right, that you probably have gotten through some other way, and then you got to manually send out an email. Does that make sense? What you want is, you want some system. So if you manually, or if you're not going to invest in the group management tool, you're going to take that email and put it in your email system, so then you can, it'll immediately kick off an email for you. And then you can track in your email marketing system metrics, who's opening and closing, is your emails effective? I mean, that's ultimately what an email marketing system is going to be able to do, allow you to do marketing campaigns. So for my process is, somebody comes into the group, I use a group management tool that I recommend to you inside of this week's training. They come into the group, it integrates with my email marketing tool. It automatically sends them a welcome email that says, welcome to the group. Here's what you can expect. So again, I've reinforced what you can expect in the group description and the welcome. I tell them to go back to the instruction, so again, it's just the same sort of loop of information. So you get them like, oh, they would have hit you, because at some point I would have touched them at least 3 to 5 times. come into my group and talk, come into my group and engage, right? Because the email says the same thing, the welcome says the same thing, the description says the same thing, so there's no way they can miss it. And then I tag them, you know, on the first live, on the first week live that they joined. So Davida, I think a form is good, but it's still a lot of manual steps that you're adding to yourself. So if you're not ready to do an email marketing system, I would say, why aren't you ready? Let's dive into why. Because it's time. You're getting ready to blow up. So you need a marketing system, an email.
Yeah, you did just remind me that I did yet another mail merge is something that does capture whether or not somebody opens the email. And I think I remember like something about when you go into your email, there's something that you type into the draft, and then somehow it connects to yet another mail merge to where you can send it to everybody that's on that list. I forget exactly everything about it, but
yeah,
it does something.
Okay, so I would just encourage you to, and this is to everybody, if you haven't pulled the trigger on an email marketing system, you know, when you start getting, you know, 10, 15 people, depending on how much you're investing in ads, joining your group every day, right? And you are busy, you know, talking to those people, you worrying about sending out, I don't think about email. I don't, you know, if I do a campaign, I drag everybody on my list, boom, it goes out to everybody. I can segment, I can exclude people based on criteria, I can do all these things. So I want more tools that help me do my job better, which is when I want to communicate, how's the best and quickest way for me to do that? So the tools that I'm going to recommend next week, email marketing is optional because I'm not focused in this funnel on email. I do think it's something you need, but I'm not focused on it. So that's certainly an optional tool. But some of the other ones that I'll be talking about, and I'll make sure that it's clear which one you need to have. Like, it's not an option if you want the funnel to work, okay? All right, everybody else, how's everybody else doing? Well, not everybody else, because I'm talking to all of you. What else are you guys feeling or going through this week? I know Amanda said it's overwhelming, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna have less content in that, because particularly when we start ready to do Facebook ads, I'm breaking Facebook ads into 2 weeks, but Facebook ads is, that is going to be the training that is, don't think about it, just do everything I write down. Like, just it's gonna be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Don't think about it. Don't argue about it. It's just, it is going to be just what it is. There's no theory in that. Well, there is some, but I've learned it, and I'm going to just write it out in steps. So that one will probably be, if you're not a techie person, I think that will be the one that will frustrate the hell out of you. But that's where I want you not to delete the question. Just post it. Just write it and just hit send and submit it on the Facebook group, because that is what it's for, right? I don't want you guys to feel like you can't ask whatever you're feeling. If you're pissed off at the training and you're like, this is some bullshit, I want you to write that, right? Whatever you're feeling, write it and let me know, right? Because I'm not gonna know. I'm gonna write what I know to write in terms of the steps. But if it doesn't make sense and you're like, Sundey, this is crazy. Like, it didn't even dawn on me that I excluded out the landing page. I'm just like, well, you guys know how to deliver your stranger offer, and you didn't, right? So I won't know unless you say it. So don't be afraid to just write what you're feeling. That's what the group, you're in a safe space. Everybody's in a safe space. Okay, ladies, you guys doing good?
I will be after my trip. I'm going to Atlanta tomorrow, so
Hot diggity dog. Wear your mask.
All day. I'm going from my house to a house. So yeah, no. I just need a change of scenery. It's too much going on out here. But so I'll have my Facebook group name before I get back to California. So you'll see it.
Live, Rocky.
I live in Sacramento.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I'm in San Ramon.
Okay, yeah, I'm from Oakland, but I live out here in Wacomento. I need to move, but
Yeah, I'm in Martinez. I was just in Sacramento last weekend.
Okay, well now you know somebody out here, girl. Come on, we can like social distance, fist bump. I'll
All of
pass
you
it.
Californians.
Well,
Yes.
not too bad, because I'm in Florida.
Oh, well, Simone, it's
On the other
soon.
side.
You're in
It's
Jackson, right,
soon.
Simone? Is it Jackson you're in, Simone?
I'm in Jacksonville. Yeah.
Jacksonville.
As soon as it calms down out there in Florida, I got a mask. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and we're trying to get out to Cali.
Come on.
I love Cali.
Yes,
I
come
love
on.
California. So I got an email yesterday from what is it, Spirit? I mean, like, what's the ghetto airline? Spirit, right? And they have like airline tickets to Los Angeles. It's like $26, they had some place for $14 one way. I mean, they're desperate to get people on a flight. And I dreamed last night that I was on a cruise, so it felt real too.
Yeah.
Like I was cruising last night.
If you go to the airport and purchase it, it saves even more money.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't we get discounts too as travel agents, right? If I'm not
Yeah, the
mistaken.
discount is $75 though.
Yeah, I'll take the 15.
Yeah, it is
12.
like they had from Dallas to Atlanta there was a bunch of places that were less than $25 one way. So if you're ready to get out of town, this is definitely the time, but it's still pretty scary out there for me.
And I was, before getting on, I was on a 2-hour call to Carnival because I'm having more cancellations and people are waiting for their money back from FunJet. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, join the club.
Yeah. I don't think I got to call. I didn't get my check. I got to look to see where my cruise refund check is. I never got that either. So, all right, ladies. Well, I won't keep you if you don't have any questions. If you need any help for those who are continuing through the content, reach out on the inside of the group. Content will be, if I'm working on it now, I don't think it's going to be too big, but I may do it in 2 parts again this week. So it'll be a Monday, Tuesday drop. But I think the way that it's coming out, it will be mostly a 1 drop, because this is really just about what should you post, types of posts that you should do. I'm going to be talking about software, and I'm going to be talking about, like videos and pillar content and that kind of stuff. So I think we'll have it in 1, but if worst case is, we'll have 2 post drops. All right. Okay, so I'm glad that you're helpful. We're getting ready to go into week 3 next week. And so this is all setup stuff, right? Let me look at the syllabus. And we start ads week 4. So I'm going to start talking to you about concept of Facebook ads, the setup of it. There's some things that you need to do before, and then there's some content you got to create for your ads, and then we'll actually create the ads and then monitor them. So, I will say where you need to be mentally is ready to just be frustrated. There's no getting around it. Facebook ads are frustrating. And the reason why they're frustrating is because Zuckerberg I don't know what the hell he's doing in the back office, but I'm going to try and minimize that frustration as much as possible for you guys when we get into that space. So that's the reason why I've broken up into 3 kind of major chunks. Like I said, utilize the group to cuss, scream, fight, bite, whatever, so we can get through it. Okay, ladies? All right, anyone who's traveling, so Rocky, be safe on your travels. Alto, you are always moving every time you join, so.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's been rough this week. We just getting back in the swing of things, so I gotta pivot because I got things I gotta do other than be a soccer mom. So tomorrow will be my pivot day.
How is soccer going? My kids, they're in strength conditioning, and kids keep getting COVID, so they just officially canceled strength and conditioning for 40 days. Yeah.
None of our kids have gotten it. They're clearly not social distancing right now, even though they're supposed to be. But they've been healthy. We've been back in it for 2 weeks, and no one's gotten sick. Actually, more like 2.5 because they were having play dates. So they're doing good so far. So hopefully, even if they're not social distancing at practice, they're doing it, you know, when they're at home or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see. And I actually have to travel with my daughter next month. She's going to be actually playing as opposed to just with her team. We got to go down to Ohio. So I'm like, but we'll see.
Yeah, so looks like, Davida, you got a soccer mom you could talk to right there. So you need to bounce something off of someone in the group that helps as your person.
I'm your girl.
That's right. Ladies, y'all have a great evening, and I will see you next Thursday. And let me know if you have any questions or concerns, all right?
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, stay still. Let me take a picture.
Bye.
You guys.
Let me take a
Oh.
picture.
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 Let me see. Okay.
Rocky's like, I hate you, Sunday. All right,
You
ready?
be forgetting. Next Thursday, I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready.
All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, I got you.
Okay.
Do it one more time. All right, ladies, have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.